This is the AdHero Podcast, the podcast that reveals marketing tips, trends, and techniques by industry experts, insiders, and influencers. For years, AdSymble has helped businesses develop and launch campaigns to amplify their message, establish authority, and earn their lion's share of the market. This podcast will help you design and supercharge your plan to make an impact with valuable lessons you can apply in your business today. To get more information or start now, visit adsymbol.com. That's ADSEMBLE.com. Let's get started.
Welcome to the AdHero Podcast. Brought to you by AdSymble. My name is Gio Giovanni.
And I'm Matthew Olivieri.
And we're your personal ad heroes. AdHero back in the studio for another episode. This week we are super pumped to interview our very special guests and sponsors, David Sexauer and Aubree Abernethy from Sun Vision Display, and learn how they can discover an opportunity to innovate in the digital signage industry.
That's right. This episode's really all about entrepreneurship. And it's kind of about thinking outside the box, just like our guests David and Aubree have done. And so, basically, if you're in a situation, if you're in an environment, if you're listening to this and you work in a company and you think, man, I'm just going to be forever destined to just work on the same old product for the rest of my life. No, that's not the case. There's always innovation, and behind innovation is opportunity. And this is a really cool story, and we love Sun Vision Display for being not only sponsors, but just really cool that they could come on the show today and tell us more about how they came up with this idea and their go-to-market strategy. So we're going to get into all of that in just a few minutes, but we do have David and Aubree live on the big screen. So listen, Gino, if someone's not watching the YouTube feed right now, what are they missing out on?
They're missing out on a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, but they're also missing out on seeing. Seeing is believing.
That's right.
They're missing out on seeing David and Aubree because we have a nice big screen right here in the studio.
I was just going to say that, and there's Sun Vision Display in the very background too.
That's correct. Yeah, the product itself. So we're going to get into all that, but yeah, check us out on the YouTube channel so you can watch the AdHero Podcast just like you're already listening to it on your favorite podcast station. We got a whole thing lined up to get in with David and Aubree, but before we do that, Gino, what's dropping in the A block?
Well, we have a lot to go over actually, but let's take a quick minute to tell about our sponsor, Sun Vision Display.
All right. Sun Vision Display signs are an exciting new development for the digital signage industry. Using reflective color LCD technology, Sun Vision Display signs are both sunlight readable, even in direct sunlight, and ultra low power. They actually use up to 95% less power than high brightness LCDs and LED signs.
They offer full HD resolution in 16.7 million colors and come in a 32-inch size and a 43-inch size coming soon. Definitely check out if you're on the market for outdoor digital signage, especially for a sunny location. Visit their website at www.sunvisiondisplay.com or find them on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Nice. Really excited to have them on the show today and hear more about this product that they come up with. And before we do that, Gino, what is all the buzz about Robinhood?
Let's get into the A block. Okay, going into the A block now, we got to start off with this story. It's hot news, and there's just developing all across the news and the internet here. Robinhood app under major fire for contributing to the massive inflation of the stock prices of GameStop, AMC, and other heavily underperforming companies. The popular app among younger retail stock buyers had to halt trading and taking place after it was reopened that an anonymous Reddit group that boasted over 2 million users told everyone to start buying these valuable stocks, thus driving up the price uncharacteristically high for companies with low to non-existent value.
All right. So the backstop. Let's just dissect this a little bit, for people who don't know. Okay. So the backstory on this is basically Robinhood is an app heavily used by new money, you could call it. Younger people who don't have a lot of background on investing. They can get easy access to this app. They can upload 20, 30, 40 bucks of their money. In some cases, a lot more than that. And they can start buying shares of stock in companies. Very easy. It's no frills. There's no like craziness like on these other apps, like, I don't know what, like TD Ameritrade and all these other things. Right. Much more complex things in those apps. This is a simple app. And so because its user base is a lot of younger people that don't necessarily know about stocks or anything about it, they are going to be more on these kind of websites like Reddit, as an example, and trading information and sharing memes and things about what's interesting or what could be a valuable thing to buy. So what's taken place is that apparently there was a Reddit group that had over 2 million users in it. And that group was called Wall Street Beats. Wall Street Beats is like an insiders group, right? And a bunch of people got together anonymously and started saying, oh, GameStop, as one example, and AMC are two really popular, like these are going to blow up. Everyone's got to get in on these. Everyone's going to go buy these stocks right away. And so all these millions of young people who don't know any better read that, and they started flooding the Robinhood app, buying GameStop shares of stock, and then the price went up huge. Okay, and so the problem with that is GameStop as a company does not have a very strong business model.
No.
It is like brick and mortar stores where you can buy video games, which sounds like, okay, what's wrong with that? Well, the problem is it's like a tie into the MJO Snaps segment.
I know, right?
The future of gaming on platforms like Twitch, people are just downloading games off the internet and they're just streaming them, or they're subscribing to services where they can like buy the game on their internet and not go get a physical copy of it. So like really seasoned investors are like, GameStop is kind of like in a bad position because no one's going to brick and mortar stores right now because of COVID. And then on top of that, they sell a hard copy of a video game, and the trend is not to go buy hard copies of video games. It's to download it. So it's kind of like their business model is like in jeopardy of falling apart. So why is their stock price so high? And so the theory is that like hedge fund people and different people that know this, they knew that all these young people would start buying this. So they kind of floated this fake idea like it's a good company, thus pumping up the price so that they could cash out. So it's kind of like a scheme in a way, right? And so anyways, people are mad at Robinhood because they're thinking that Robinhood didn't take proper action to help protect the younger investor. What do we call them? Retail stock buyers, meaning they don't really know what they're doing. They just saw something and they're like, oh, cool, let me spend all my money on this. And what's going to happen is if that stock tanks, they're going to get wiped out. All these people are going to lose their money. So David had mentioned, he's here on the screen, that he knew a little bit about this. I'm going to bring David in here. And David, what else can you contribute to this story, or what else do you know about it?
On the GameStop, pretty much more of what you had said, but I can say I was reading more too about when you talk about brick and mortar and you get the actual hard copy. That sounds very familiar to a company that I think all of us know that's no longer really worth much, and that's Blockbuster.
Wow.
And that's the next one on the list.
That's right.
Yeah, so that was like the next trend was let's make Blockbuster like GameStop. And for that one franchise up in Alaska that's still sitting around, they can't wait. But,
it's still around.
Right.
It's more of the same. Yeah, they got one. I don't know. It's like Family Video, that we have out here. But it's more of the same. So it's pretty interesting how the masses of people who are now contributing and how fair this is. Is it fair? Really what Robinhood did was when they halted trading, they either protected certain people at the expense of others, and
that's right.
That's fair or not. That's not open trading for sure.
Wow. Right. Yeah. Well said. Yeah.
Well, there is a wide range and a lot to this story to unfold. It's like we're in the age now of you can make the rules as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
No longer is it just staple. 70 billion with a B was lost by these hedge funds, 5,000 hedge funds. And they're pissed off.
Wow.
And they're pissed off because the little guy was ahead of the game just by like a hair, and capitalized like on what you said. And then other people are just like, hey, look, you got that stimulus check? Yeah, buddy, I do. Well, why don't you put $100 in there or whatever?
So true. It's so true.
You only need like a few, $10. If you get what you get 50 or 500 million people,
Right.
5,000 people. I forget how many it was, but yeah, they like a little bit of time or like a little bit of money to invest into this, and to make these little companies grow exponentially in a fast rate. And those hedge funds wanted those companies to tank, but they got caught with their pants down.
You could say, yeah, you could say. And the other interesting dynamic of it is like, it's kind of fascinating. Like young people want, to a degree, they want to be involved in these kind of things. They want to, be knowledgeable about investing and participating in all this. So I think to David's point, it's does Robinhood step in and halt trading to protect some at the expense of others? I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting dilemma, right? For sure to have on their hands. But I did just read this morning, all of a sudden now Robinhood is announcing $1 billion with a B, a new round of financing, $1 billion of financing. Yeah. That's breaking news as of this morning. I'm like,
got it right.
I'm like, okay,
well,
so do something controversial and you get $1 billion in fundraising.
Right. So on top of it, Robinhood was caught, and they're denying it, but they were caught selling people shares at lower prices than they were.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
And so it's one thing to stop trading. It's another to execute their position at much lower prices to save the people who were there. I mean, it's going to be nasty either way. So it's one thing to have a spike, but another that this action that occurred.
As a Robinhood user, so I've been getting updates since yesterday. And one update was like the markets are experiencing significant volatility and there may be an increase in risk. And then today there was a couple of them. And what they're trying to do is limit the amount of shares you can buy. So not saying that you should go out and do this, okay? But some people are saying, okay, well then just hit me up at like the maximum. And the other thing is that Robinhood was also, and I think the Securities Exchange was preventing people from getting these stocks. And so, but then, hey, the joke's on them because the users are like, okay, we'll just go to the next available company that's small and rising up.
Like AMC.
So in other words, Robinhood is getting Robin Hooded.
Kind of. Right. Yes.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Saying the name is supposed to suggest, steal from the rich and give to the poor, but it's like the opposite.
But what's cool though,
that's really good. How ironic.
What's really cool though, and this goes back to like the Reddit and so forth, there are groups of people that are like on totally different political spectrums that are now coming together to make all this happen.
Now wait a minute. Did you say you have a Robinhood account?
I do.
Did you cash in?
I did. A friend of mine that we kind of share put something up the night before all this blew up, and he was like, "What does he said?" He said like, "No, it's all about GameStop, not the cryptocurrency. GameStop is using crypto or whatever." It's like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, but should I be on GameStop? Wow. So I looked into it.
So wait, so you had a chance to get in on it?
I had a chance, but I had no idea what he was talking about. And then the next day, it was hard to find GameStop on Robinhood.
Yeah, you couldn't find it.
Right. Well, let's stay on top of this story because this is going to be out there for a minute, and let's we'll keep reporting on it as new things come up.
We definitely will.
There's a couple other big things that
this is huge.
Switching gears to the movie side of things,
yes,
as our audience loves when we banter on this kind of stuff. Just randomly hopping off Robinhood and jumping into this. what's this huge trailer that just dropped?
Well, speaking of huge and jumping on things, because there was an aircraft carrier involved, Godzilla versus Kong trailer that just dropped this past Sunday.
And what is the early verdict on it?
It is superb, 2 thumbs up. There are critics out there who are very harsh on movies like this, but like they say, I got to tell you, I'm pumped.
Yeah, you're pumped for it. Okay.
And there's so much to unveil on all this, because some people believe, okay, this first teaser trailer was Kong orientated, but maybe the next one is more Godzilla orientated.
Okay.
And then the theories are already out and they already make sense. I almost want to be a spoiler right now because I have a huge prediction of what exactly is going to happen.
They're going to both team up together and take on Mothra.
Well, they are going to team up together, that's for sure.
Right.
But I think because they're making Godzilla in this trailer look like the enemy, which is like odd, you know, and I'm Team Godzilla. I'm not going to root for Kong, but
I'm team Kong.
Oh, you're Team Kong.
Yeah.
Well, nothing wrong with Kong. It's just that that was my first.
Let's ask David and Aubree. Team Kong or Team Godzilla?
I'm Kong all the way. Go mammals. Go mammals. That's it. Yeah.
Aubree, what do you say?
I'll take Godzilla.
Oh, we got 2 for
Yay.
Godzilla and 2 for Kong.
Good, equal there. But one theory, which not a lot of people are bringing up, but it's a dead good theory, is that the villain would be Godzilla, but realistically, it's not the real Godzilla. It's Mecha Godzilla inside Godzilla,
Wow.
just like in the original.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll be really interesting to see when that comes out. And the cool thing about that is that's going to be one of these major, massive films that's going to hit your streaming service at the same time it drops.
That's correct.
In the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It's going to come to, I believe, HBO Max.
Yes.
Okay. And that kind of dovetails into bullet point number 3 here to kind of wrap up the A block, that movie theaters across the country are now back open and they are pushing hard to get people back in the theaters. But with all of these new movies simultaneously being streamed in your home, is it worth the risk to go back into the theaters?
Well, we got to remember, I still, a lot of movie theaters are open, like Regal's supposed to be all open right now. I know AMC has a lot of places open, especially across the world. The thing is, though, from what I understand in Los Angeles, is that the movie theaters aren't open there, and that there are people willing to drive to go see like a Godzilla vs. Kong in Vegas. So yeah, so I mean, look, I put it out there. I'm willing to go.
If I go to Vegas, I'm not going to go see a movie.
But I got like a movie like this, you got to hear it in the sound, and like they say, like there's a lot of experts in all different types of areas who study this with the movie theaters. They say like movie theaters are actually probably one of the safer places, because not only are you wearing a mask, but everyone's heading in one direction, so you can't get the breathing over it.
Let's get David and Aubree's opinion on this one too. Big movies coming, staying inside, watching them on TV, or taking the risk to go experience the Dolby surround sound and the huge screen? What's it going to be?
Well, our family is still kind of in COVID threat level red mode, and so we're probably not. But I definitely would, for something like this, and like you say, it's probably safer because you are back to, everyone facing the same direction
and sitting.
I would consider it because it's way better on the big screen for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
David, how about yourself?
I've got 2 little boys under 2, so I think it's more dangerous for other people if we bring them around theater than it is for us. I mean, there's just, I can't even begin to explain diaper stories and whatever, but the only thing I'd say about it is those movie theaters pay a lot of money for the rights to play that movie, and they don't get money. They only make money really on their concessions.
Wow.
And so there's got to be some kind of, if you're going to release at the same time, then either give them a discount or charge more, something like that. Because, I mean, you got to support a business one way or another.
Right.
And they have a legitimate argument there. But other than that, anything that makes movies going to the theater cheaper, I'm all about. So.
Yeah, I agree. I believe, because we talked about this before on the, I believe HBO Max is going to be doing some kind of special where like it's only a limited time all these movies are going to be playing, and I think you pay a little bit extra for it.
Right.
And then the movie theaters, yeah, I think they are doing a discount, and you can only have so many people in the theater at once anyway. But I think they're increasing that.
Right.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, dude, I gotta see the movie theater. I really do.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm on Team Aubree for this one. I'm still gonna play it safe. I'm not gonna rush. Even though I really want to go back to the theaters, I'm not gonna rush right back in. And I made a small investment in a new sofa that is like it's like a movie theater. It's like a movie theater seat. It reclines. It has a cup holder. It's like pretty legit.
A life changer.
Yeah, my brother came over and he said the only thing I'm missing is like a little strip of lights, LED lights on the floor of my living room.
That's awesome.
That lead to the door with an exit.
You can get
sign.
those pretty cheap at Menards.
I know.
Or I guess you don't have Menards out there, but
My brother in all his sarcasm said, hang an exit sign above your door, all this different.
I was going to say, yeah. And then you can double as like an airline.
get a popcorn machine.
You know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say like, yeah, I actually invested in some AMC stock.
Yeah.
I thought he was going right into that because that's the other one.
That would have
been more sense.
That would have been a perfect.
They reopened.
That would have been a perfect.
Yeah, theaters are still relevant.
Exactly.
Compared to.
So I got to make sure it performs well.
Well,
left turn.
Let's switch gears and let's enter into the B block and let's officially welcome our guests. B block, take it away. All right. So we are super excited to formally welcome David and Aubree here from Sun Vision Display. Thank you guys so much again, first and foremost, for the sponsorship. We really appreciate that. And I think the listeners are going to be super stoked to hear about how you guys came up with the idea for this, the go-to-market strategy, because you're kind of like a startup within a bigger organization. So maybe to kind of kick things off, could you both introduce yourselves and what your role is in the organization? And we'll kind of start from there and how you guys kind of work together on this product.
Sure. So my name is Aubree Abernethy, and I'm with New Vision Display, which is a manufacturer for OEMs. We do displays and touchscreens. And Sun Vision Display is our new brand or product line, specifically for digital signage. And so we're taking kind of a LCD concept that's been around, reflective LCDs, and made it bigger and usable for outdoors. And it's a really exciting development, especially because of the power savings. And so if you want to introduce yourself.
Okay. And thanks. My name is David Sexauer. I am the team lead here and business development manager for the Sun Vision Display product line. And like what Aubree said, this is really our first branded, trademarked product line. You probably have seen New Vision Displays components in some other larger brand names and not known it. But this is our first step really into the front light of display components and also the LCD market. So when Matthew said that it's kind of like a startup, it really is. This is a very brand new venture for New Vision Display. And in that sense, it has a lot of startup ideas. It's a very innovative technology. It's an incredibly exciting industry and market that's growing a lot right now. But we also have this incredible foundation from New Vision Display as being a very established player in different components, so touchscreens and various LCDs.
We thought it would be awesome for listeners to learn more about Sun Vision Display and specifically the origin story of this incredible product. Can you tell us a little bit about how the idea came about and how you established the need for this product?
Sure, that's a great question. So for most of the displays that we have come accustomed to that started really from our use of smartphones and tablets, the public is expecting digital content. And also with your TVs getting bigger and bigger, they expect other displays to get larger and larger. So as manufacturers were trying to figure out solutions there, they tried to take the model of your phone, which has a backlight that goes through the LCD. And as anybody who's been outside on a bright day knows, it's pretty tough when it's a bright day. You can't really see the screen, and even more so for a larger panel. So the traditional solution that had been going around was just get brighter, throw more logs on the fire, try and blast through all that sunlight. And although it wasn't ideal, this became an accepted solution because the market was growing so much. And for a while it was just get your prices cheaper and make the displays bigger. We will figure out the sunlight thing later. Well, that costs a lot of money. And the environmental aspects, not just on the surrounding environment, but on your eye health and on the amount of radiation that hits you was and is becoming a serious concern. So our engineers and our scientists took a look at this, and reflective technology has been around. You may have seen it in like a smartwatch or a Kindle, and that uses a very similar type of technology. Where we excelled was, for example, like Tesla didn't invent the car and didn't invent the battery, but they saw that if you can combine these things and apply them into a market that's already well established, that you can have an unbelievable amount of success. So we did the same or similar with reflective technology. We made it these sizes, which is 32 and a 43 inch, which really hadn't been done, especially in many parts of the world. And then we added some of that, the liquid crystal, the clarity there with full color and the video, which you won't see on a Kindle, at least not in the near future. And just used what was already available to us to make small changes. Now, what makes ours different is the fact that we don't have a backlight. These two displays behind us have no light source of their own whatsoever.
Wow.
And so we rely on sunlight coming through that window and reflecting off the back of the panel through our LCD to give you that same color.
That's incredible.
It's like a small change that made an incredible.
Wow. And so when the scientists and the engineers discovered this kind of breakthrough that they could apply that tech to just even these size television screens, was that just like the ultimate like aha moment for you guys at New Vision Display to say, we need to package this up as its own product line, brand it, and go to market with this whole branded idea thing? Was that kind of like how that kind of came together?
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. When people see these in person, and I know we have the screens here and we're trying to record it, there is nothing that can compare to seeing this live. And then when you're told how it works, you have that aha moment. I don't know if you guys go to a chiropractor or whatever, but if you ever get you got that itch or whatever, that kink, and it just goes, everything lines up perfectly, that's that moment. I still get like goosebumps thinking about it. Because
awesome.
It does. It really solves so many things in one simple little kind of component switch. Because the first is it's sunlight readable. The brighter it is outside, the better you see these, which is something so foreign to people who are shading their screens that that's their first benefit. Then they start to realize that it consumes almost no power because there is no backlight, and that it's more environmentally friendly. Like it's just, you can't find,
right. It's like checkbox after checkbox after checkbox. And I'm really glad you reiterated the low energy consumption, all that stuff, because because of the name Sun Vision Display, and that was the original thing that caught my attention when I first saw the post on LinkedIn about it. Was been in the digital signage industry for 12 years of my life now, and knowing that these local storefronts that hang TV screens in their window have this issue, and experiencing it firsthand. When I came across that, I was like, wow, that's incredible that the Sun, it has this anti-glare technology, but the underlying power savings, if you guys blow this up on a massive billboard size or something like that, something that covers all of time, building in Times Square, think about how much reduction in energy bill that, someone would have to pay for that. Right. So it's almost like you just, like you said, you keep finding more value check boxes there, and it's really incredible. Now you have is this a demo right here behind us for anyone watching the YouTube feed?
Yep.
What are we looking at here behind you on the screens?
So
Yeah, so these are this is the 32-inch size,
Mm-hmm.
and right now we just have our logo showing on it. And you know, today we're indoors. It's kind of overcast. Really, like this is like, you know, you put this thing in the full sun, and I mean, it looks good, pretty good here, but like even more in the full sun outdoors, it's just like, you know,
Oh, it's
gorgeous.
phenomenal.
Yeah. And you can see on the 43-inch, we have video playing, which is something that a lot of like other reflective LCD technologies in the smaller sizes can't do video.
Wow.
And so that's a nice thing, you know, as if you're advertising, you really want to capture people with motion and graphics.
Right. And Matthew, as you know, as AdSemble knows, with a lot of the advertisers and the digital content that you guys work with, retailers might want a static image, or they may want a video. It may not be the full movie theater. I mean, you could put it. We have actually watched movies on this, but retailers may not want that full cinematic look, but they want motion, especially if they want to change the content periodically. So that's why we're trying to show a little bit of both, that this can hold a static image and still look fine for longer periods of time, and you switch it out as needed. Or if you want to play a video, you absolutely can. They actually come with speakers too, so you can play sound.
Interesting.
That's the reason for both. We're trying to appeal to the wide crowd.
Let's kind of segue to challenges here. When taking this market to product, what are some unique or interesting challenges that you've occurred, or that have occurred, I should say?
Sure. Great question. The first is, when you're the first at anything, nobody knows who you are, or people may not automatically think of the benefits right away. They may give you the time of day, but not necessarily put it all together. So for example, Matthew, like you said, with Sun Vision display, a lot of people think that it was a solar powered display because you hear so many advances in solar energy these days.
Right.
And we're not that. So it's just promotion and letting people know our brand name, which is, you know, very brand new, as well as the fact that this technology exists. And so we're happy to do it. It's just has to occur. So that's probably our biggest challenge at this point in time.
Yeah, I would agree that education is key right now, just because, like he was saying, that confusing it with solar power, or there's so many things like people. It's hard to take. It really is. You know, LCDs and how they're made is very complex. It's very technical, and even this technology, kind of breaking it down so that people can have that aha moment, you know, where they understand there is no backlight on this display.
I'm still blown away by that.
There's nothing, like, it's not creating its own light at all. Like, the only thing that's requiring power in this is the actual LCD crystals are changing the image, but the way that the light is shining through it is there's like a mirrored panel back there.
Wow.
Instead of a backlight. So it's purely reflective light. That's it. So, you know, you talk about energy savings. A high brightness backlight is, what is it, like 3,000 nits or something, which
more,
nits is kind of like a unit to measure brightness. And it requires a lot of electricity to run those 3,000 nits over time.
Wow.
Whereas these use like less than 5 watts of power.
Oh,
it's
my gosh.
roughly 95% less energy than a high brightness LCD.
That's really incredible. So if someone's listening to this or watching this on YouTube right now, and they're thinking to themselves, you know, maybe I can be innovative within my company, my established company, and try to discover something new to do or new to go to market with. What would be like a practical tip that you could provide them from your guys' experiences on that journey? Where should they best get started with that kind of journey?
Well, if they show up to work with one of these, that's a good start. I'll tell you right now.
And it's even better if they mention they heard it on the AdHero podcast when they call in.
Oh, yeah, right.
Double whammy.
So, but very similarly, it's if you're out there, it's taking an idea, and what's interesting is people think that ideas have to be complex, and trust me, the physics behind this is, but the solution that we came up with wasn't. It was just to remove the problem and replace it with something that made sense. And so people will quickly find that if you have that idea, if you have that itch at work to make that suggestion or to develop something and think that it will be effective, then just go ahead and do it. Do the simple thing and let the effects speak for themselves. Because this display, I could not say another word, and it really does a lot to talk for itself. And so if that gives anybody some inspiration or to get over that hump. From where we started, nobody had an idea of our name because it was a brand new name and logo. Nobody had an idea about the technology, especially in North America. And yet, a few short months later, we were up and going, real product, real solutions. And it's very, very exciting. You won't ever regret it.
And I think it also speaks volumes to, the parent organization, New Vision Display, for supporting you guys and, backing the creation of a product line and a brand, and basically giving you guys the ability to kind of build this baby from scratch and carry it off the ground. So I think that's really supportive and awesome. So hopefully, if you're watching this, listening to this, you work at a company that would similarly support you if you come to the table with a new idea, because it could be game changing, and again, it sounds like this was a problem that was just kind of ever present, and people just like, well, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. And then you guys were like, you know what, let's get to it right now. Let's see if there's something here. Right. And
and that's just why, the MVD management, when this was developed, they just jumped right on board, and it was like, all hands on deck, let's get this thing out there, because it's real. Especially, you hear so much about climate change and the environment, and that's a significant concern. And now's the time to figure out solutions that are going to cut back on power and blue light radiation and even, the animals, like just that light pollution. There's a lot of really amazing advantages, especially for the environment.
One other maybe less interesting talking point, again, keeping with that theme of helping someone who's maybe in a similar situation where they're trying to be innovative within their established thing and coming up with something new. What suggestions could you provide to that person on figuring out the right pricing model and the right kind of like how you're going to sell it? Because I would imagine you're literally writing the script and the processes to do all this from scratch. Like you said, a startup, kind of like startup, right? But I can speak from personal experience, and over the years, we've had to iterate and reiterate different things and cost models and all kinds of stuff just to see what would stick with people. So has it been a similar journey for you guys with this product launch?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if I could weigh in any type of suggestion, and I do this with sales everywhere I go, make sure that what you offer is an actual solution. If you're solving something, the rest will fall in line. Prototypes and samples cost money, just like early Teslas cost money and early innovations cost money, but that solves over time. So, for example, for our type of display, because it's so low power, it's basically only the cost to acquire. You have no cost of ownership to run it because it doesn't cost anything. So keeping that in mind, like we've solved that over time versus a high brightness display, we actually are more cost effective. And so that's one solution of several. So if you can make sure that what you have is a solution, that's the best start. And then I think that the next is make sure that you can get people to fall in love with it. If they fall in love with it, they will do anything they can to get it going.
Wow.
And it's so true in so many ways that it really helps.
That's awesome.
There's some takeaways I actually have of all this. Well, first of all, I like that it's made in America. I like that a lot. And second of all, it kind of reminds me of like what we're doing for AdSymble, buying local, support local, advertise local.
Right.
And a local company can advertise on the screens that you guys have. This is brilliant. So like the keys here, like no matter what the size of the organization, if you kind of keep your eyes and ears open, you can discover voids that need to be filled, and innovation just never stops. If you fill those voids, you can capitalize on that innovation. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Well,
even getting to what you're talking about going locally, a lot of people think that it's only the big name brands of the world that are looking to acquire this kind of signage. And that's really not true, especially with what's happening with COVID right now. A lot of businesses are forced to reevaluate what they're doing. And it's really inspiring to see how many people are not seeing this as a negative, but a true opportunity to either upgrade their facilities, make their products or services better. And part of that decision right now is going to digital. Not a lot of people who were going to do it. Now we're like, well, let's do it because we need to make sure our first step forward in this COVID, post-COVID world is effective. And so there are plenty of small business owners that this type of technology would be extremely helpful for, like food trucks. And, we're looking at different like
Mini
golf courses, mini golf, things like that, you don't have to
That'd
be
be a good
this
one.
big corporation that buys 1,000 of these, though we love you too. But it really does support through the whole.
I love hearing that.
It's fabulous.
I really love hearing that.
That's really awesome. Well, you guys have both been great. This has been really educational. I'm sure of it. And for our listeners, if you're checking this out, if you're listening to this right now on the podcast stream, please head over to the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel, you'll see the product here in our studio. It's I'm watching it right now on the screen here. It looks fabulous. So guys, what would be the best way for our listeners to get in touch with both of you to learn more about the product, maybe pick up 1 or 2,500? What would you guys recommend would be the best way for people to reach out to you guys?
So really, and we're a pretty tight-knit group. When you reach out to us at sunvisiondisplay.com, you can get our phone number. A lot of people prefer just to submit an online form. It'll be me that pretty much responds to you.
Nice.
So it's not like you don't ever see me or Aubree again. We do have a team of people here that obviously help support us, and their efforts are incredible. But we're not just faces that you don't ever see again. I mean, we stand by what we're doing, and I'd be thrilled to talk to anybody and answer any questions. Aubree is the one that did an incredible job on the marketing side with our web content and making it look really nice too, so that you enjoy your experience there.
Yeah,
so
our listeners got to check out your YouTube channel. It's got some really cool.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is a great place to see these things like outdoors in the sun and in the cold weather, and there's lots of really good videos of it.
Yeah, and you guys are racking up some subscribers too. I saw that going up. Get on with yourself.
There's more people that want to see me go outside and get cold. I think that's what
yeah.
Oh, what else can we make them do?
Well, we've had a blast having you on the show. We ran a little bit long today, but that's just because we're having fun, so it's all good. Nothing wrong with that. But any other final thoughts, or do you want to jump into where the social media tip?
Well, it looks like we're going to have a little lightning round.
Well, we could still do a lightning round. You want to do a lightning round?
I really do.
Okay,
I really
Gino
do.
wants to do a lightning round.
So,
I was looking at our clock over here, and I know how we like to keep the show at a
I know, right.
Usually Gino's the one that gets on me for running over. He's like, we got to keep it. But all right.
But this is a very good conversation.
If you're giving us permission for the lightning round, I'll do it.
We could even have this as a bonus section.
All right. Then I'm going to start the lightning round. Lightning round is as it sounds. Rapid fire questions. Gino and I will each. This is like where we like to have a little bit of fun. Gives the listeners and the viewers a chance to get to know both of you a little bit better on different levels, different things. We'll throw a question out there, and first answer that pops to mind, just shout it out, and we'll just do a few of them. All right. So I'm going to kick it off. All right. Batman or Superman?
Superman.
It'd have to be Superman.
Wow.
I'm not even happy about that.
All right, 2 Supermans. All right, Gino, go.
Okay, remember first answer that pops in your head. Outdoor advertising.
Sun Vision Display.
100%. I was waiting for it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. McDonald's.
They're synonyms.
McDonald's or Burger King?
Oh,
McDonald's.
Chicago staple.
Although I like Burger King coffee better.
I like Burger King fries, maybe. You can't beat McDonald's Coke.
And their French toast sticks are really good.
Okay, I've yet to go to Chicago, but I've done my history over the years. Pizza or Stromboli?
Pizza.
Pizza. Not even
Okay. All right. And since
Yeah.
you are
Unless you're in like a real authentic Italian restaurant or something.
And what kind of pizza?
So not deep dish. I know everybody talks about this deep dish thing, but unless you were about to, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Like thin crust with a couple toppings on there, whatever you like, put it on there. But the deep dish is fine. But
you have to, if you come out to this area, you have to try the Chicago Pizza Authority. Out
Chicago
here in
Pizza
Elgin.
Authority.
It is
Okay.
so good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a small chain that's been around forever, but oh my gosh.
Wow,
So
that's
when
better.
you guys come in town?
Is that better than Lou Malnati's?
Well, it's different.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's different because Lou's is also like one of the best, but
even your neighborhood places know what they're doing. Like
Okay.
you go to other places and they're like, oh, we'll try this, and it's
All
like
right.
the same cardboard as a box came in.
Let's keep with this Chicago theme. Cubs or White Sox?
Cubs.
White Sox.
Oh wow!
I got my mask.
She's got the Cubs. Oh, that's great. She's got the Cubs. Oh, wow.
Who's got the coach of the year and the
Yeah.
MVP?
We just created a division.
I'm just.
Okay, wait a
I
minute.
just love the Cubs.
They went
I
from
just-
being
it's a
perfect
really
colleagues to
feel
like.
for
That's right. Wait, real quick.
history and yeah.
What was that W? I never could find out the
Fly
significance.
the W
It
for
means
the win.
win.
That's
They
what
won.
it was?
Yeah, that's what it means win.
Yeah.
They're always winning.
There's a reason though they're hard to find.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh. Zinger.
Oh.
All right. Last question. What are you watching on Netflix or Disney Plus right now?
Oh well.
First title
Disney
that
Plus
pops in.
just got done with The Mandalorian. I didn't watch season 2. Season 1 I'm through.
Okay,
Those
all right.
boys, like I said.
That's cool.
But
Okay.
between it's Bubble Guppies and then The Mandalorian. So it's a big jump.
I have not gotten into The Mandalorian. My husband loves it. He's like on his like third time through it. I barely get time to watch, but anything but the home edit is my latest one that I really enjoy. I'm like super into organizing and kind of in a minimal try to minimize the amount of clutter in my life.
Nice.
right
I gotta look that
now.
one up.
So it's
There you go.
that kind of feeds that side of my brain.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So-
I know Gino's vote would be Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
I just haven't gotten there yet. It'll be like 3 years before.
Well, I'm now on WandaVision, actually.
Oh, you're on WandaVision. Okay. I'm actually going back and rewatching The Karate Kid, like the original 80s Karate Kid,
Nice.
just so I could like get reacclimated with the characters and stuff like that. I'm having some fun with that.
Funny fact here, Matthew's actually a fan of the next Karate Kid.
Yes.
Oh,
Do you remember
really?
the next Karate Kid?
Yeah, with Heidi. What's it?
with Will Smith.
No.
Hillary Swank.
What?
Not the other, the one we talked about that no one knows about. The one with Hillary Swank?
Oh no, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I just said Hillary. Yeah.
Oh, you did say it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I could-
No, that's all right. No, that was
like
the worst
original
one.
ones.
But
Is Hillary Swank the actress they were asking in the office
yes,
was hot or not?
yes, that was Hillary Swank.
That was
Oh.
a fun episode.
real quick about Karate Kid. You know, we were talking about the universe and so forth. I think a
Yes.
couple episodes ago, and like, do we add the next Karate Kid in and all
Right.
that kind of stuff, right? So, funny thing is, real quick, there's Saturday morning cartoons. There used to be the Karate Kid cartoon,
Okay.
and I ran across that on YouTube, and it's crazy because like Mr. Miyagi is like running, he's jumping on airplanes, hang gliding, like he's like the Superman. It's like so ridiculous. It's hilarious.
I love that, man.
Oh, no,
That's
it's-
how.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
I
cool. It's
remember
just
something about it.
it's
That's
just
funny.
that like, what if that like that was live action? You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
He could do
Probably
it.
not. Stunt double. Stunt double. All right. Well, that was a fun lightning round. I like
Oh,
that.
I loved it.
like
Yeah, it was
that.
great.
I like
There you
it.
go.
Now,
I'll give you guys a show if you haven't watched it. Fargo on FX. It's not on
Oh
Netflix.
wow!
If you guys have watched Fargo, it's unbelievable.
I love the film. Is it a continuation of the film?
It is, and
storyline?
it's in the same style, but completely different storylines.
Yeah, isn't each season a whole new storyline?
Right. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a True Detective meets Fargo, but it's
Oh wow!
yeah, it's
Okay.
good. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the scenes in season 4 were filmed here in Elgin.
No
So-
way.
Local pump.
No
Yeah.
way. That makes it even better when you can like spot like landmarks and be like, I know where that is.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the one-
so
That's the one on FX, right?
It is on FX. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that was fun, Gino. Thanks.
No.
Thanks for encouraging the lightning
Of
round.
course. Hey,
Thanks for giving us permission to extend the show longer.
It's
Producer Gino.
it's an opportunity to talk to guests who are halfway to across the country, and it's such a great interview
Yes.
that
Yes.
I want to get some more insight.
There you go. There you go. All right. So make sure you follow Sun Vision Display if you're not already doing so. Get on their YouTube channel. Get on all their social media. Great social media presence. Lots of fun videos and information on their product line. David and Aubree are awesome, so link up with them on LinkedIn as well. And as for us, you guys know where to find us. We're all over the place. We're on @AdSymbol, at YouTube. Gino, where's all the places people can find us? All the social media places.
Well, on your YouTube page, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified about all future AdHero podcast premieres. And as always, don't forget to leave a comment or question below and let us know your thoughts. For inquiries and more information about outdoor advertising, visit our site, adsymbol.com. Find the AdHero podcast on all major platforms. Thank you for tuning in to the AdHero podcast every Friday.
And thank you to our guests, David and Aubree from Sun Vision Display.
That's right. My name is
Thank you
Giovanni.
so much.
Thank you
It
for
was
having
really
us.
fun being on.
Yes,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My name is Gino Giovanni.
And I'm Matthew Livieri.
Signing out.
Advertise big and build massive brand authority at the same time? It's easier than you think. Open Display by AdSymbol lets you advertise on digital billboards nationwide. Just go to opendisplay.com for a free account to get started.